CBSE has decided to cancel the remaining board examinations for class 12 students now. This is a time of great anxiety for students. A lot rests on the CBSE and ICSE class 12 marks, at least as far as college admissions for these students is concerned. So where does this leave the students? How will the CBSE now assess? How will it evaluate these students? Find out in this live episode of Government Matters with me. I have Kritika Sharma, who, as you know, tracks education for ThePrint. And do send in your questions. Kritika will be happy to answer them. Yeah. Kritika, so, this matter was with the Supreme Court, and you, along with our colleague Bhadra, has done a story on this. So can you first tell us what the decision was, and then we'll move on to the other aspects later.
Yeah, so Ruhi, as we had discussed in the past also, CBSE had postponed its remaining board exams in 29 subjects from 1st July to 15th of July. Now, since the number of coronavirus cases are rising so rapidly in the country, there was a petition by parents to either cancel or postpone to cancel the exams.
Right.
In fact, the matter came up in Supreme Court, like you said, and finally exams have now been cancelled.
Right.
So this is the status as of now. The exams which were supposed to end by April had to be postponed earlier, first of all. So there was a whole lot of anxiety among students on whether the exams will happen or not. First they got postponed, and now they finally have been cancelled.
Right. But do we know how many subjects this would pertain to? Approximately?
So there are about 29 subjects which the board has decided that we'll conduct exams in these remaining 29 subjects for class 10 and 12. So about 29 subjects.
So now explain this to us. How will assessment and evaluation of students happen? Because board exam marks are the only way we knew of assessing students before they went into colleges.
So CBSE has come up with an elaborate evaluation plan based on which they want to assess students now. They have identified students in 4 categories. First category will be students who have written all their exams before the lockdown, till March 18th. So those who've written all the exams will obviously be assessed based on those exams. Then the second category of students is those who have written more than 3 subjects, 3 exams. So they will be assessed based on the best of 3 performing subjects. So suppose a student has written exam for maths, English, and chemistry. If he's not written the exam for some other subject, say physics or something else, so the best of 3 will be calculated for the physics exam, or hence so on and so forth. Then the third category is of students who have written only 3 exams. So for them, best of 2 will be calculated. Then there is a category especially from Delhi, Northeast Delhi, like this we've discussed earlier also. A lot of students from Northeast Delhi were not able to write exams because they were right, so exams were postponed then. So those students will mostly be evaluated based on the internal assessment.
Right.
So it's an elaborate process that they've come up with, and they've submitted the same to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has also approved the evaluation process.
But is there a worry, or is there a possibility of anxiety among students, because there is a bit of disparity where this is concerned? Like, I mean, those who've sat for all 5 may not have done all the exams, may not have done well in certain, leaving them at a disadvantage as against those who are being evaluated in this average system. Or those who are being evaluated in an average system may not have sat for the strength subjects so far.
You rightly pointed this out, because this was one of the worries that CBSE also had in class 12. In fact, there are a lot of students who don't pay attention to the internals, or they may be paying attention to one subject vis-a-vis the other. So what the board has done is, if a student feels that they're not satisfied with the marks, they can appear for an exam. So they've given an option to appear for an exam, and the CBSE has said that the exam will happen when the environment is conducive. That's the word they've used. Now, when is the environment conducive, that we'll have to see.
Right. So, Kritika, let's start taking a few questions. Actually, before that, because we're on this issue of CBSE, let's quickly also talk about ICSE, which is the other important board.
So ICSE had earlier in the month of June only, they had said that we are giving an option to students to either choose between internal assessment or going for an exam once the situation is better. But yesterday ICSE also went ahead and cancelled the exam. So they are also going to assess students based on the exams that have taken place so far.
Right. Now there's a question from Anmol on YouTube. In the possible scenario that entrance exams like JEE and NEET are delayed indefinitely, do you think we have a plan B to assess students for college admissions?
Yes. See, plan B, as I am not really sure if by plan B you mean engineering or medical, because there is actually no plan B right now. Because you can't, give admissions to students on the basis of their class 12 marks. That has never happened. But yes, in terms of, taking admission in regular courses and graduation, for graduation, students can always apply. The window is going to open in August, so students can apply for those courses. But as of now, there is no plan B for professional courses like JEE and NEET.
Right. But what happens to, because a lot in news right now would be Delhi University. This is the time when Delhi University admissions happen. It's a time of great anxiety for a lot of students who want to get into this prestigious university, and the cutoffs are insanely high. But what happens this year? How does it pan out? Because we don't even know if college exams would happen now, the undergraduate exams.
So first of all, Delhi University admissions, the registration has already begun, and in fact till 2-3 days ago, more than 1 lakh students had already registered, and a lot of them who are from state boards who've already got their results, they already completed the registration process. It's only the CBSE and ICSE students who are left, and mind you, they are like huge in numbers.
Of course,
yeah. So what I've found out from the Delhi University officials is they're waiting till July 15 for CBSE to declare the result based on whatever exams have taken place so far. And when it comes to cutoffs, it will again depend on the kind of results. If the results are high, say this year also, like each year the topper gets 99 percentile and things like that. So if the result is like this year also, then of course the cutoff will be high.
Right.
But if there is some kind of difference in the results, if the results are slightly lower than last year, then obviously the cutoffs will also go lower.
Right. But Kritika, it's just the entire process seems so delayed because, by 15 July, DU session begins. We've all been, a lot of us have been to Delhi University, and the session begins on the 15th of July. How do you even design an academic calendar when your process of admissions will start only after the 15th of July?
Yeah, so, yes, everything, of course, like you said, has been delayed. Now, UGC has given, some kind of guidelines to universities to, think of starting their academic session. Because obviously all these universities are autonomous bodies in themselves and they can decide when to start the academic session. But the UGC has, said that they can start the academic session depending on the local situation between August to September.
Right.
Preferably towards August end or September beginning.
Right. Now I have two questions which I'll club together. One is from Isa. The other is from Sanjay, which is on Twitter. What happens to the exams related to colleges now? Are they also going to be cancelled? And the other question is, what about Delhi University exams? So it's not just about CBSE or about admissions to colleges, but it's also about the undergraduate courses that are finishing.
Yeah, so college exams is another part of this whole pandemic, something which has suffered because of the pandemic. Usually college exams are over by April or latest say May, but this year they've been indefinitely delayed.
Right.
So what's happening now is UGC is re-looking at the issue again, and there is a possibility, though I can't say this for sure because it hasn't been announced, there is a possibility that college exams can also be cancelled. But we'll have to wait for the government to officially announce it, because the UGC has referred it to its expert committee, which they earlier formed to come up with an academic calendar. So,
and then how are students, what basis are they promoted to the next level?
Yeah, so there again, the suggestion so far is that they'll be, promoted based on their last 2 or 3 performances in the last semester.
Right, so because of the semester system in DU now it's possible.
Semester system,
right.
Yeah.
There's a question from Asha. JEE Main 1 was held in Jan. Will admission be based on that plus boards?
Plus boards, sorry, I didn't get the question.
The viewer wants to know that the JEE Main 1 exams were held in Jan. Will the admission be based on that plus the boards?
Wants to know about the boards. So boards have been cancelled.
how do the JEE admissions happen, I think, is the crux of the question.
Okay, so no, there is nothing that has been decided on the JEE mains. The government is still waiting. I think it should be announced in a day or two. Now that CBSE has made an announcement about the board exams, JEE main and NEET should be coming up very soon.
Right. AR, that's the viewer name, handle. What about people who want to go abroad for the undergraduation? How will this affect the chances with school passing exams now cancelled?
Yeah, so this is one question which is worrying a lot of students. In fact, I spoke to students and counselors. A lot of students have in fact this year cancelled their plans of going abroad because there is no clarity. And some universities in fact are giving provisional admissions based on the performance of students in their pre-boards and internal assessments. Right. So that's one thing which students can look at. Also, I think this is too late for any new admission right. Because admissions process usually starts by November, December.
Right, right. And anyway, all foreign universities are also, I think, postponing their sessions now.
Postponing their session, yeah.
There's a question from Tarush. Tarush is one of our regular Government Matters viewers.
Okay.
Why doesn't the CBSE conduct the exams? After all, children and teenagers are not really affected by COVID-19.
Yeah, so in fact, Tarush, CBSE did in fact come up with a whole guideline, social distancing guideline. They wanted to conduct the exams, but a group of parents filed a petition in the Supreme Court saying that the environment is not conducive for an exam of such a large scale to be held, which is why CBSE had to go ahead and take this decision.
Right. Pratyush Singh, shouldn't there be some kind of symbol on mark sheets about the students appearing in COVID-19 affected year? So that it can be considered in the future. Your take? Well, I don't think anybody is going to forget COVID-19 year. Yeah, I think 2020 is something everybody who's lived through this will always remember.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that?
I don't think there should be like a special symbol or something. It's going to be a like a differentiator. I don't think that's a good thing to happen.
Sabrinath, when everyone is promoting or cancelling exams, Indian Army is conducting SSBs postponed from March 20th from July 6th. Is it justified? I'm not sure whether we're in the loop.
I don't think we are. I'm the correct person to answer this question.
Right. So Kritika, now,
But just to take up this question, because I have also been getting a lot of queries from students, from people who want to ask about conducting exams. So see, as long as the exam is not of such a large scale that it can pose a risk to people's health, I think the agencies are going ahead with the exams.
Right. So if you can maintain social distancing, if you can ensure all precautions are taking place, and particularly for children, it's more difficult to ensure that social distancing is maintained outside the examination hall. But I think for grown-up people, it's still possible to be able to do that. Kritika, just to get a sense now, in class 10, how the boards were cancelled, etc., etc. So what is happening at that level?
Do you mean only CBSE or across?
CBSE.
Yes. So for class 10, the boards were cancelled, but when CBSE announced a fresh date from 1st to 15th of July, they did not consider class 10 there. So whoever has written class 10 boards, their exams were over. The only exams, the only students who had to write class 10 exams are the Northeast Delhi students who had to suffer because of the riots.
Right.
So class 10 students, more or less, their exams were over. So I don't think there was too much anxiety when
as far as class
10th was concerned.
Right. Adhyay Mehta, when will the college admission start and when will the college itself start, even if it is virtually?
Okay. Yeah. So like I said earlier, there are plans that college admissions could start, from August, and even if classes start, they'll only start in August because it's June already, and colleges also need some time to prepare the infrastructure and everything. So August, September is the time that you can look at if it happens virtually. But we can't say when the colleges will open.
Actually open. Yeah. Right. There's a question from Nikhil. Is this only for CBSE? What about other boards like IGCSE, IB, etc.?
See, yes, this decision particularly is only for CBSE and ICSE. IB had in fact cancelled its exams in March itself, when this whole crisis began, then only they said that we are not conducting exams this year and students will be assessed on the basis of the internals.
Right. So, Kritika, let's talk a little bit about students who were studying abroad, particularly in China, and who came back because of the pandemic. Now, what is the thinking there? Are they looking to go back? Is there too much anxiety?
Yeah. So, in fact, I did a story
Right.
2-3 days ago.
You can, in fact, log on to our website, ThePrint.in, to read Kritika's story.
Yeah. So, of course, there is anxiety, but you know what they're thinking right now, Ruhi, is that we better go back to China because situation in India seems to be worsening and China seems to be getting better. So some of the students I spoke to, their universities in China are saying that you all can come back to join us in September if international travel opens. Of course, I mean, they are worried right now, but they are studying through the online mode. A lot of universities have started classes, but as far as going back is concerned, they want to go back.
Right. Well, Kritika giving us, an interesting view into what is happening as far as class 12 boards are concerned, how college admissions will take place, and actually bringing to us the anxieties that perhaps are surrounding students right now. Thank you so much for watching Government Matters and for sending in your questions. Have a good weekend.